Hello, welcome back to the M2 Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Lindsay. My co-host right here is Mr. J.K. Heath, KyleHeath. This is the show where we cover gaming industry-related news of the past week. Last week we dived into, Game Award nominees. So definitely tune in for that because I'm pretty sure the Game Awards is in like a week and a half, right?
Yeah, literally. It's in a week.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm really excited. We're definitely going to do an in-depth review of that and what we think should win. We actually have to vote. I don't know if we've talked about that. We need to put our votes in because it is kind of community
I
driven.
mentioned that last
So
time.
for everybody that's listening, if you're listening to the beginning of this, go look into Game Awards. A lot of people don't vote when they should. So go check it out, go vote on it, and get your input in. But this week, before we dive into like updates and stuff, let's talk about what we're going to be covering. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Intel's new graphics card that's going to be launching at an affordable price. I think, in like literally next week, with like 10 days, 10-ish days. Pretty exciting. XDefiant update is getting shut down, and we're going to talk about that. Codecks, which is like a small game developer project management tool, they received some funding, which is pretty sick. Always good to talk about that kind of stuff. Then we talk about 8-bit Do. 8-bit Do. I always mess it up. I swear. It's 8-bit Do. 8-bit Do. So 8-bit Do. I have one of the controllers. Pretty sick. They're making a keyboard. Definitely want to talk about that. It's a mechanical keyboard. Mine's kind of old, so hey, bro, it might be time to switch it up.
Hey.
And the last one we got to talk about is Stalker 2, which launched pretty recently. I think it launched this month, did it not? Or maybe it was last week.
Yeah, it's like
it
was a month ago. I don't remember.
I remember the gameplay looking phenomenal, and I remember thinking, dude, I want to go get this.
September
5th, dude.
September 5th.
So it's been out. It's been out for 2 months though. The only game that I've been playing on Game Pass for me is like Call of Duty. But that's basically what we're going to be covering. And also like December releases of new games. We have a very small list, to be honest. Not very many heavy hitters other than Indiana Jones. But before we get into that, Kyle, how you been? What have you been doing? I know you've been watching sports. We talked about that. That seems to be what our group chat's been about. And we even mentioned it before we started recording.
Yeah.
But what do you got going on?
No, dude. I mean, I'm just chilling. Otherwise, dude, got some more Baldur's Gate in. You know, that good gameplay going. I'm excited about that. Played. I hopped on Smite 2. Believe it or not, at one point checked out the new Smite. Yeah. The only game mode. There's only 2 game modes available right now. There's Conquest and then Arena. And so for those who played Smite, everyone knows like Conquest is kind of the main mode that game's known for. Arena is kind of just what it sounds like. It's just a giant arena essentially that has no rules really. It's just try and kill other people and get minions and portals and try and get down points. So it's kind of a more casual game mode for sure. So we were just playing that, but I don't know, man. It's like I don't know if it was more so like, oh, I was enjoying Smite 2, or just like, oh, it had been a minute since I played Smite in the first place, so it's just kind of hopping back into that and just like, oh yeah, this is pretty fun. Like it'll be fun for a little bit.
That's cool. It's always nice to go back to a game that you used to love, and like for whatever reason you take a break, go play something else, and then come back. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot how much I like this game.
Yeah. I feel like it was more so of that when we were playing, because I think player count wise, it's not Smite 2 isn't the best, but also it's kind of just like the way you get keys is like watching. Time, right? Well, the way it's been out in kind of in an alpha form. It's still not. It's like nowhere near full release, but essentially the only way to get keys is to watch Twitch streams right now for drops.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we all got our keys and stuff, and we were playing for a little bit, but that was pretty fun. I want to try and hop back into that at some point, kind of get more of a feel for it. There's not as many gods, obviously, as the main game. They're kind of just slowly rolling out, so it's more condensed for sure. But yeah, dude, it's still fun nonetheless. So played some of that. And outside of that, I think there was probably one other thing I played, but I can't remember. It's been a hazy week for me, so it's like there's a lot going on kind of with work and whatnot. So
I feel that
weeks, man.
You and I are kind of in like the technical side of things, and we've talked about this a bunch. Where for whatever reason, the end of the year and the holidays, most people are like relaxed in their industries, and like it's the calm season, obviously, other than logistics because of deliveries and like shipping and stuff like that. But for us, man, it's been really intense. Like everybody wants their stuff before the new year. And what I've decided is everybody wants their projects done before the new year so they can go on break without having to think about it. That's my theory.
Probably.
Because when we submit like our own projects and we go off to the client, like, oh, here you go, here's your product, here you go. They don't do anything with it for like a month and a half. It's
Yeah.
infuriating. It's like rush, 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 get it all done, and then yeah. I
It's
don't know if
crazy,
that's the
man.
same for you. You're slightly different industry, but
Yeah.
it always seems busy around this time.
Yeah. I don't know, it's weird. I mean, I think this year is probably busier than normal for me for whatever reason. We have like it's obviously like SOW season, as they say. So all these statements of work are
Oh,
going
yeah.
out for the new year and trying to renew clients, stuff like that. So it's a lot there alone. Not to mention
Mhm.
just kind of the deliverables that we already have that we have to give. So yeah, it's a decent amount going on, but just trying to hang in there to the holidays. Get a little bit of time off and just kind of like chill. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a lot,
We're
man.
we're at the home stretch, bro. We're so close.
Yeah, we are rather close. So
Yeah.
hope for the best, but yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Like, for whatever reason, my allergies were just like killing me today. So I was just blowing
Mhm.
my nose most of the day, and I don't know if I sound nasally. That's why, because it's just like all day. It's been nonstop for me for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the weather, the animals I have, combination of both, but it just
Oh,
really
no.
just
Yeah.
all over the place today.
You're not the only person. I've been struggling to breathe too the last like 2 or 3 days. I've had to do my tactic is like when I take the shower, I try to take the hottest shower possible and I turn off all the vents and I block everything and get that like mist that like
Oh
just
yeah,
kind of clears you out a little bit, you know? Kind of gross, but it's like you're in the shower so you get to wash everything.
yeah.
Um yeah,
I need to
but
bust out the
maybe
humidifier. Maybe that's what it is.
yeah, that's
I
what I'm
just
saying.
need to bust that out.
Yeah. But we're dude, it's been humid for us this season. Like so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, today
We've
was.
had
I
pretty bad
it did.
rain.
I will say. I mean, the past couple days it's felt kind of dry in my place and stuff like that. I mean, I
Oh,
don't know.
really?
It's like
Yeah.
it's been getting really cold, and even this morning I was like running around shocking things because of the heat and the cold and all
Oh,
that.
dude,
So
are you running the heat in your house?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
sure
yeah,
am.
that's why.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So yeah.
it's a lot of different things, but
Yeah, you're in a house. See, for us, we're still in like an apartment townhome and we're on that first floor, so we don't really need to use the heat too much.
oh yeah, that's nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
can't
if we were
relate.
on that top floor, bro, mm.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, man, dude, just hanging in there. But what have you been playing, Mike? Have you been playing some?
I've been grinding COD, pretty much. So
Okay,
I've
okay.
prestiged. I'm ranking up. I made it to gold one very quickly, like within dude, like maybe 5, 6 wins. We won like 5 or 6 in a row. We were frying. So the game was like, oh, plus 200, plus 250. We were like just ranking up fast. And then I decided yesterday, I was like, dude, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I was like, well, I won't have much time to play like on recording night and stuff like that. And then we got Thursday football. It's like we're getting kind of close to the last week of fantasy football. So I want to pay attention to the
Yeah,
last week
yeah.
into the playoffs. So I'm like, all right, well, this is my time to game, and that's what I thought. So I wanted people to play ranked with. There was nobody really to play with, and I was like, let me just solo queue. It's like it's only gold. It's like it shouldn't be that sweaty, bro. The game was like you won all these games in a row. This is my theory, obviously. It was like you won all these games in a row, four, with your squad of four. Well, guess what? You're gonna play against squads of three or two squads of two, and you're gonna be like with one single, and then like sometimes you'll get a three squad, but they're gonna be the worst three squad imaginable. They had like KDs of point 0.4, point 0.8. I have KDs of
Brother.
2.5, 3. Like when I'm losing like minus 18 or 20. So I'm like, I'm not that upset, but I'm also
Yeah.
don't like losing. I'm like, what the hell is going on? There's like there was this one guy who had a better KD than me, but he wasn't playing objective at all. And I'm like, dude, this is Halo Infinite all over again. And it was just pain, man. But I'm playing games at least. Went to the bar on Saturday or whatever, had a few drinks and hadn't done that in a while. And there were some people talking trash, not knowing I had Mario Kart in the trunk. And they're like, yeah, I'm so good at Mario Kart. I was like, we can find out. And they're I got 4 controllers. I got the Switch. I got the adapters. Let's get it. I got the dock with me. So we went and hooked it all up. And first game, somebody there was talking a whole bunch of trash because I was just like, I'm just trying to have a good time, have a drink, have a good time, not take it seriously. They started talking trash. You're trash. You're terrible. You're never gonna be good. I'm like, nah, locked in, and then just destroyed them. Won like five races in a row, like 5 circuits in a row. It was a massacre. It was a good time though.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
It really
it's been fun, man.
Gotta back it up. It's crazy.
I mean, sometimes people talk trash. You're like, okay, I guess I take that personal. Like, you know
It's
what I mean?
competitive, dude. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta lock in on a very simplistic Nintendo game.
Yeah,
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Hey, man, feel it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I didn't even mention too. I got the new Steel Series
Oh, yeah, you
Optus
did,
Pro
yeah.
Nova. That's this weekend. It was actually like a little bit of a story. I'll try and keep it short, but essentially I bought like a used like new version of this on Amazon. And it was advertised as used like new, so I was like, okay, it's probably just open box. I ordered it. It came in.
Yeah.
And like the batteries wouldn't charge in it, and I was like, "Oh, this is weird." And so like I tried connecting to the base station. It was like wasn't even able to power on because obviously I guess the batteries just didn't have juice. So it was like we're not even gonna try. And so did some googling, did some Reddit searching, and it seems that there's a decent enough amount of people who reported like very similar issues, and they were just like, "Yeah, I spoke to Steel Series support," and they were pretty much just sending me a replacement. And so pretty much everyone was like, "Yeah, I just needed to get a new one because there's just something faulty either in the base station or the batteries." And they just realized a new one was needed. So yeah, I was like, well, that's a bummer. So immediately, pretty much the next day, I was like, you know what, not gonna chase for the used, and I just got a new one, and I'm sending sending the old one back. So I'm just like, well, whatever, I'll eat the extra money, but I'd rather just get one that works and is new anyway. So
It's awesome.
bit of a debacle, but liking the headset.
Hey,
So.
you went through a bit of a hassle for sure, but it was
Yeah.
just an inconvenience for like less than a week, and
Right,
it's
yeah.
okay. You got it to work.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And these things I got next day shipping now where I live. So like literally these things, like I was just able to like,
Oh yeah, you
bam,
do
next
now,
day
yeah.
that I was able to get a fresh pair that works. So yeah, it was
Yeah,
really not much of an issue, but it was just kind of like, well, that's one product where I will probably not encourage anybody to get used. I'm like, probably just get new.
yeah. I mean, it just especially with electronics, it depends on the item. I think.
Yeah, it's luck of the
In order
draw,
to,
but
yeah,
I
it really is.
I had a feeling that someone probably had this is probably a faulty head, or they probably had a faulty headset to begin with. They just returned it to Amazon. They maybe even said it was faulty, and then Amazon just didn't like QC it, and they were just like, "Oh, it looks new, it seems fine. We'll just sell it as used, like new." And that's probably what happened.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be a whole number of things. But was that your only purchase for like Black Friday or Cyber Monday or anything?
Yeah, I think I bought some like other little stuff.
Mhm.
I bought like a watch repair kit because we have a lot of watches around here, and I want to be able to like
Oh,
take the
cool.
batteries off and kind of replace them and stuff. So I bought something for that.
That's handy.
Yeah, so bought that. Yeah, a couple other things, but it was all just kind of like little stuff, like refilling up on like cat litter and stuff because that was on sale.
Oh
I got
yeah.
a cat, so just little stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, it's on sale, I guess, so I might as well get some extra. But yeah, dude, I mean, electronic wise, this is like the only thing I really bought, and this was like kind of a big ticket item anyway, so I was just like, yeah, I'll just stick with this.
Yeah, it kind of was. Yeah. Yeah. I have like a. It's funny. I have a whole bunch of stuff on my Amazon wish list that I just like add, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I like that, but I don't need it, kind of
Yeah,
thing. But if I have the option, it's like, oh, it's on a good deal. If I open up the wish list one day and I'm just like, I kind of have some extra money, I want to see what's going on, like a treat for myself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I'll go there and I'll check it out. Now it's becoming my default when anybody's ever like, "Oh, your birthday's coming up," like, or your Christmas coming up, like, "What do you want?" I just send them the list.
yep,
You know,
yeah,
like instead of giving them like options and stuff of things that I don't really know or like thinking something on the spot. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, check this out." Like, "Oh yeah, I did." It's like, "Oh yeah, I do need a computer desk or a computer chair.
yeah,
So if you want to ball out, here you go." But
yeah. Oh,
or
yeah,
it's like, yeah, I need a new HDMI cable. Like, yeah, 20
yeah,
bucks,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just give
whatever.
me a new one, dude. It's cheap.
Yeah, it's so cheap, and I just need it. Like, it's funny because I need something called it's called an HDMI active cable, and it's an amplifier. So when you get HDMI cables that go over a longer distance, think like 30 feet or more,
Yeah,
you need an amplifier to keep the signal strong. And
did
that
not know
matters
that.
a lot. Yeah, it matters a lot with older technologies.
Yeah,
So, like my old Xbox with the adapters and all this other stuff that isn't even supposed to doesn't come HDMI natively.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Because of the conversion factors and all this kind of stuff, it loses a signal relatively easily. And if you go over a certain amount of distance, you start getting like not interlacing issues, but you will get issues of like like ghosting and fading, and like the FPS won't look right.
Interesting.
Yeah, or double instances of the image. If you get an active cable, it can fix that. Could just be that
Yeah.
the hardware is trash. That's also an option, but like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, and it's kind of cheap. Little things like, something I would like to buy eventually is a stand that can go on either one of my desk stands, where I can hold up my iPad or like my
Oh
tablet,
yeah. Yep.
because
That'd
that
be
could be
nice.
a secondary monitor or like
Literally.
a standalone browser, and I would
Yeah.
very much like to have something like that.
Yeah. You can like hook it up to a little thing, and you can have like a little just like searching
100%.
tablet or something, just like on your desk.
I, I,
Like,
s- I straight up already do, man. Look, check this out. Highly recommend anybody to get a Samsung tablet if you're in the market. Um, yeah, but look at this. We vibing.
look at that, got the keyboard and everything. I love it.
Yeah, keyboard and everything. It's kind of,
Oh,
I need to wipe
trackpad.
it off, obviously. It's a
That's
little
pretty
bit
sick.
too
It's
much, but
literally a laptop.
it's sick. Yeah, this thing saves you on flights, because you know how like some of the old, like you've been on a plane plenty of times,
Yeah.
you can get this thing where you this is kind of like, I just realized this is a product review. You can kind of like stack this thing into the seat in front of you, so that it will
Yeah.
hang at head height. So if you ride like a bunch of budget airlines that don't have the built-in TV screens, that'll save you some time.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pro tip. But yeah, man. What else been going on?
Dude, yeah, I don't know, man. Outside of that, not too much else. Like you were saying, just watching sports, chilling, trying to
Mhm.
survive the end of the year. That's about it.
Really,
So,
honestly.
yeah, that's it for me, man. Just chilling.
Yeah, I'm about the same way, dude. Mostly excited to get into our first article and topic of discussion, which is GPU cards. The Nvidia. We're not talking about Nvidia here. We're going to talk about Intel, which I'm pretty interested in to see what kind of performance metrics it has. But I'm in the market of a GPU, and I'm going to wait until Nvidia announces their 50 series in January at their conference. And when they announce those, hopefully the 40 series cards become cheaper. Because I have a 20 series, and
Yep.
if I can go up for less money, that'd be fantastic. Up in
Yeah.
performance for less money,
Oh yeah, dude. See, I like the thinking, Mike. That's how you gotta be, dude. You know
Budget.
it's cheap.
Got to find the deals, dude. That's what it's all about now.
Sure,
Inflation's brutal. So
Sure,
what you got
dude.
for me?
Hey, look, dude. Intel out here making budget-friendly cards, though. We gotta talk about it. It's coming from The Verge. Sean Hollister covered him a lot. So, Intel announces a $249 Arc B580 and a $220 Arc B570 Battlemage graphics cards. So it's a little hero image at the front. The article says Battlemage will make its desktop debut. Let's get into it. Intel's next and possibly last desktop graphics cards will begin arriving in just 10 days. Right on cue, the company has announced the budget $250 Arc B580 and the $219 Arc B570, shipping December 13th and January 16th, respectively, as the best-in-class performance per dollar options in the GPU market. They're based on the same XE2 Battlemage GPU architecture you'll find in Intel's Lunar Lake laptop chips, but with more than double the graphics cores, up to 12 gigs of dedicated video memory, and up to 190 watts of power compared to their limited laptop forms. Enough power to see the B580 slightly beat Nvidia's $300 RTX 4060 and AMD's $270 RX 7600. According to Intel's benchmarks, but sometimes still trading blows. For example, Intel claims the B580 runs 10% faster on average than the RTX 4060 in a wide array of games at 1440p in ultra settings, assuming you pair both with Intel's pricey Core i9 14900K CPU. There, Intel says the combo can break a 60 FPS average in Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, Returnal, and The Witcher 3, where the 4060 can't. So they're like, with the insane CPU, yeah, you could do some damage. So
Yeah, of course. That's basically what that means.
Yeah. And there's a little kind of graphic that Intel provides. It's 10% faster on average than NVIDIA RTX 4060, and it kind of shows all sorts of games. and all sorts of RoboCop, Rogue City, Ghost of Tsushima, Director's Cut, all the way up to League of Legends and Monster Hunter Rise and all those games that don't require much. It's, of course, the FPS is crazy. But yeah, so it's a pretty decent sized chart. It looks.
I really find it interesting how they have Gears 5 on here.
Yeah, it is pretty
But I
interesting.
mean, yeah. God of War's on there too, 2018. Just looking at a handful of the games, it's like I haven't seen some of these in a while.
Yeah, 1440p Ultra Gaming though, it's not bad. It's at least 60 FPS for the majority of titles and higher. So
that's a big deal.
Yeah, for Intel, it's pretty crazy. It's like it's holding up pretty well against a 4060. So definitely says something.
They're really going for like FPS per dollar metric here.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we continue on. And yet the Nvidia card is still ahead on Starfield, Gears 5, and a pair of Assassin's Creed games, as well as Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and League of Legends, though all cards have plenty of frames there. Despite widespread reviewer consensus in 2023, the Nvidia's RTX 4060 was underpowered and hamstrung. Intel's really relying on price to sell this one. Compared to Intel's previous gen A750, which originally retailed for $289, but now can be found for $180. The new card runs 24% faster on average, according to Intel, but it may gain depend on the game. In that test, Intel ran mini games with the XESS AI upscaling turned on, and Baldur's Gate 3 barely ran faster on the new GPU. 24% faster on average than Intel Arc A750 Limited Edition. It's comparing the last gen to the current gen.
The new gen, yeah.
The new gen. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, huh?
It's sick.
There's some games where it's obviously noticeable, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, probably the biggest differential that I see right off the bat is Fortnite, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So they must have spent a lot of time optimizing that game, which makes sense because it's like, that's going to be the most popular game right now. Actually, it is literally the most popular, most played game right now.
Yeah.
They just broke like 13 million players or something like that. That was all over Twitter, maybe like 5 days ago. Happy holidays for sure. Yeah, but that's pretty significant. The only thing that kind of bugs me is one, it's Intel branded graphics, not independent third party. It's just basically what they're telling you. It's going to be ideal conditions, of course. And it is, like you said, on a very, very nice Intel i9 14900K.
Yeah.
So
you're kind of the best case scenario right there, you know?
It 100% is. I mean, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you want to see the best numbers, right? So
exactly.
I can understand it. But, you know, average consumer, hey, your mileage may vary. Just saying. Intel suggests that you could truly see the B580's clear advantages in situations where its competitors are memory constrained, as the B580 has 12 gigs of video memory to the 4060's 8 gigabytes. One example in Forza Motorsport, the Nvidia card apparently beats the Intel one 86 FPS to 77 FPS, but Intel wins 64 FPS to 57 FPS when you turn on ray tracing. Okay. I mean, okay. The extra memory kind of helps there. Sure.
Yeah, ray tracing is ridiculous on that game, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you've ever seen Forza. It is straight up simulator. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, but they have a little graphic to memory utilization showing Forza Motorsport. You have high ray tracing, ultra ray tracing, kind of showing the difference in performance based off percentage. It looks like. So cool stuff there. It's like, you know, it's high percentage, but I'm reading this like percentage of. I guess it's percentage in the difference in memory utilization. So
yeah, that's basically what it's saying. It's percentage based on memory utilization, but what you look at initially, you're looking at number go big, number go down. Like that's basically what it is. That's one of the things that I don't necessarily like about these graphics, but I like how The Verge is interpreting everything. Is it Sean Hollister, is it not?
Yeah.
Sure, he's doing a really good job.
Intel didn't offer individual comparisons to the AMD RX 7600 or any comparisons whatsoever against the new Arc B570. Intel will sell its own ARC B580 limited edition card with 2 fans, a single 8-pin power connector, and whisper quiet performance. Acer, ASRock, Gunner, Sparkle, Maxsun, and Onyx will sell versions as well. Have you heard of Onyx? I've heard of that.
No, I honestly
Sparkle.
I've literally only heard of 2 of them.
Yeah, I heard of the first 2.
Maybe Gunner.
Gunner I've heard of.
Yeah.
These 3, yeah, I don't know, man. Maxsun, Onyx, and Sparkle. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It makes you wonder dude, honestly, does Nvidia have graphic card deals with their like third-party manufacturers?
Like exclusivity with them?
Yeah. Because why wouldn't they be on board with this?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen AMD like gigabyte cards and stuff. I don't know. I have no idea how that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe
it's interesting. Interesting thought that I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it'd be something I have to look into. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but it makes you wonder. It's refreshing to see video cards come at lower price points with more memory and more bandwidth than the competition. But the GPU market has a tendency to self-correct pricing quickly, and Nvidia has profits to spare. It'd be nice if the gap were bigger, or to see what Intel could do in more cores. While the company says its newer Xe2 cores offer 70% better performance per core than last gen, the B580 doesn't get a 70% performance uplift because it includes fewer cores. Good point. Point for Sean.
Okay.
Just pointed out.
Yeah.
Very true. PM. Little comparison chart too that they provide in the article, so you can kind of graphically see difference between the B570 and the B580. Kind of what you get more out of the bigger card. Let's see. Sean says, I wouldn't bet on such a future card coming out though, because Intel CEO, that last name. I wonder how we can figure out, Mike, what that's supposed to be pronounced like.
Yeah.
Let's give this a shout. Gelsinger. Okay. Make sure I said that. It could be Gelsinger.
We probably would have said Gelsinger.
Probably would have said that. I might be right. I don't know. But this is Google Chrome talking. So, CEO Pat Gelsinger recently suggested the company's discrete graphics cards were on the chopping block shortly before he got chopped from Intel itself. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, Pat. Rest in peace. He's not dead, but just
he's not dead.
He just left the company. He's just forcibly removed, I guess. Intel's also announcing some very welcome upgrades to its XESS technology today. A resolution and frame rate enhancing competitor to Nvidia's DLSS and AMD FSR. The new X is supposed, like, I don't even know how to say it. It's like XESS. That's all I'm gonna say. It seems like doesn't roll off the tongue like DLSS or FSR does. But
no, it doesn't at all. XESS.
The new XESS.
In a row, bro.
2 now.
DLSS.
XE squared. I don't know. 2 now offers a frame generation, which substantially increases frame rates by imagining new frames imagining. What? This just seems so funny. Let's see. I want to make sure
We've talked about this a couple of times. It's basically their system of circumnavigating the game's computational FPS and skipping a step that normally isn't possible with Nvidia, because Nvidia has to be compatible with multiple motherboards and multiple CPUs, AMD and Intel. With Intel, I think XESS might only work with an Intel chip as well. I think.
Yeah.
I remember vaguely seeing that it could have been a rumor when it was initially announced.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. It increases frame rates by imagining new frames between existing ones. I just find that it sounds like weird. It's like you're imagining frames.
It's like artificial upscaling almost.
Yeah. And a quick side note, I didn't even mention it at the start, but I ended up hopping back on Power World this past weekend. Dog.
Yeah.
And the
update's been going hard, right?
I mean, so there's supposed to be a new update coming out this month. That's kind of why we're getting back into it, because we wanted to kind of prepare for that. But dude, I loaded the game, it looked like trash and it looked blurry. And I was like, why does this look blurry? I was checking my settings, I was like, I have good settings on. Like nothing's. I don't have low settings or low textures or anything. Like everything's on high or ultra. It's like, why does it look so blurry? And then like I scrolled and I looked and I was like, it said like the artificial upscaling was enabled and it said Nvidia DLSS. And I was like, there's no way that's what's caused it to be blurry, right? And so I turned that off and sure enough, that was it. It's just like they had a really poor way of using it in the game. So it just looked blurry.
Oh,
It's like, I think it was on them because they just did not do it right. But I was like, I don't know.
sometimes that happens.
It just looked
Sometimes
blurry,
stuff it just isn't compatible.
Yeah, so looked bad. That was one example, but I mean, I think in other games DLSS doesn't look that bad, but for whatever reason, Power looked bad. Anyways, I digress. So the SSX, I'll just reread the whole thing. It now offers frame generation, it's imagining frames, and a XE low latency mode that Intel claims can completely eliminate the penalty of using that frame generation technique. So maybe this is what may not make the game look blurry. You know what I'm saying? You use something like this.
Yeah,
Maybe they figured it out.
I feel like that's very doable.
Yeah, they have a little chart too about XELL, near instant reaction. And they kind of, so F124 in gaming responsiveness. It's the game they tested. They kind of showed the difference between having this enabled, not having it enabled. Kind of, you know.
That's a massive boost.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, from the looks of it. It's absolutely wild. For best results, low latency needs to be integrated into games to sync with their game engines correctly. But Intel will offer a driver-based version you can toggle on and off too. Intel says XeSS 2 is coming to F124, Marvel Rivals, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Killing Floor 3, Citadels, Dying Light 2, Like a Dragon, Pirate, Yakuza in Hawaii, Harry Potter, Quidditch Champions, Ascendant, and RoboCop Rogue City. There's a couple, kind of medium tier titles, will be coming to and
yeah,
test it out.
They're going to be pretty popular. There's a lot of hype around Marvel Rivals and F1 right now, so
yeah,
it'd be very good to see. It's kind of go back down to the metrics real quick for the card. In terms of power supply, I think there was something like 190 watts or something that I read.
Oh yeah, they'd mentioned that was 190 watt output.
It might be a little bit lower.
This one?
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. So it's trying to directly compare itself to a RTX 4060, and the RTX 4060 does about like 119 for the watts. I wonder if this is just going to be the new trend. If you need to make better cards, it's going to need more power in a very literal sense.
Yeah, dude. My 3080 is like
computational.
3080 is like 250, something like that. It's approaching 300.
Yeah, some of the
40 series are like really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, the 40 series, I think. Let's just look that up real quick.
It's like 300, dude.
4080?
It's like 300, something like that. 600. I forget how much it is. It's ridiculous, though. I think it's like, no, I think it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like 5. It's absurd. Something like 500 or something.
It's a ridiculous amount for sure. And I think they know it's a drawback, so it's kind of like you don't notice it often. You know what I mean? Like they don't really advertise it. So you'll look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm good. And then you just go to Amazon and buy it, and all of a sudden your PSU gets bricked. Why does it keep shorting out? Like, dude, because this thing has 2 plugs and it's frying. But the point I'm trying to make is like you got to be kind of intentional about what your PSU and like the rest of your components can handle for these cards.
Yeah, more so than ever.
Yeah, the new cards coming out is gonna make me go back to watching like Jay's 2 Cents, Gamers Nexus, Linus Tech Tips. I want to see how these Intel cards actually stack up because I know the AMD cards were like they weren't ever close to Nvidia, like at all in terms of performance. Like Nvidia is king for gaming, but AMD was like a very viable option for people on budget builds that will get the job done. It's like you might not get the 2K, 4K resolution, like high FPS, but you can get like 1080p, pretty solid FPS, and you can play pretty much anything. And sometimes that's all people need. Not everybody is like high performance, crazy zoomer shooter. You know,
me, I'm not looking for like the 4K stuff yet. I'm still at 1080, man. I haven't even gone to 1440 yet. I got
1440, and I downscale everything. If I don't, I play a lot of shooters, right?
Yeah,
I messed up, so I'll play a lot of shooters that I won't like. I'll be going below 60 sometimes on 2K. I'm like, no. If I'm doing shooters on 2K, man, I'm just plugging in the console.
Yeah,
I'd rather do that.
Frames are priority, right?
100% in those games.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see. It's 4060 seems to be kind of holding up FPS wise against some Intel's. Still in the GPU game. I wasn't sure how long they'd last or if they would stay, but seem to be
I
staying.
didn't think they were gonna stay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really did. I thought it was like a
Hard
trial
market.
run, but it's really showing like if they can really bridge this like combination between a CPU and a GPU,
Yeah.
and then somehow just make that the best bargain for your options and optimize it for certain games, because it seems like more and more games are becoming single core games, and that's where Intel is king. So if you can have some type of bargain deal and you can get like buy one get the other one half off kind of stuff, it could probably take out Nvidia for a couple of consumers.
Yeah.
Just make it a
Easily.
more
Yeah.
viable option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice mid tier option. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It's
100%.
affordable. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a market for it. So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm surprised Intel lasts this long. But I mean, hey, more people in there, more competition. It's always better for the consumer. So, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It'll be very cool to see what happens.
It'll be very, very cool. You know who's not all for it anymore, dude?
Dude.
Oh no.
XDefiant and Ubisoft.
Or like exiled. Let's go. This game is
for
no
sure,
more, dude.
My goodness, man. This game, dog. Oh, what did I say? I even pulled out the screenshots and I posted it to Twitter. I called it. I said this game is dead on arrival. I remember we had a segment where I was talking about how the game's dead on arrival and I had no like hope for it.
Yep.
And I remember there's a viewer that commented. It was very upset that I said that. They said I was a moron and I was an idiot and I would never be right and that I'm a hater. But the truth is, I'm not a hater. And it's like I just call it like I see it. Like it's an opinion based kind of piece that we put on here.
Yep.
And we do kind of embellish a little bit. At least I try to with some stuff, because if you don't have haters, you're not getting noticed, right? Really, I'm just trying to get a conversation going. But the point is, like, we've said it a bunch of times. I know I've said it a bunch of times in like my own personal streams and just on the pod. It's that we can't have games that are just mocking and taking established IPs, and then they think that that's gonna make them successful. Like XDefiant is now an example of that. Concord was the previous example of that.
Yep.
What was that fighting game that tried to copy like Super Smash Bros?
Multiverses, dude? You know about that?
Yeah, Multiverses. Like it popped off for a little bit, but then people realized they're just like, I kind of rather just play, Super Smash.
Yeah.
Like,
they also reference another game in this article that when you read it, you'll be like, oh yeah, it's another one. Like,
that's
another one.
But that's the point I'm trying to say is like, what are we doing? Extraction shooter, maybe there was a couple of those that kept popping off.
Cycle Frontier.
Cycle Frontier, and I
man.
thought Cycle Frontier was actually pretty cool. I just didn't have people to play it with.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Everybody else would rather go play other games that are
Escape from Tarkov, baby.
Yep. That's 100% what it was. They were just like, I'd rather just go play Escape from Tarkov. And I couldn't
Marathon,
get them off those games.
We'll see what Marathon does. It's Bungie, dude. That's what you need.
Marathon needs to be a good story. That's where Bungie games succeed, because a lot of people don't realize how broken all Halo games were. I think the core of Halo games were the story. I think that kept a lot of people playing.
Now here we are, 20 plus years later, on main stage, winning. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right, baby. Okay, enough rambling. Let's get into this article, this topic of discussion. This is coming from Richard Lawler. Richard Lawler over at The Verge. It is Ubisoft shooter XDefiant is shutting down and sending refunds to players. Live service games are no sure thing. First, it was Concord. Now it's Ubisoft's free-to-play FPS that only launched in May will close its doors. We've actually covered this once before. It was a tweet that we covered very briefly about how they were going to only do up until Season 4. This isn't even making it to Season 4. So
yeah, Ubisoft's like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're not going all the way to Season 4.
Yeah, that's a fact. Ubisoft keeps taking L's, and they have been for the last, 6 years.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, let's go. Despite only officially launching the game in spring of this year, Ubisoft has already announced that ending development, sunsetting its free-to-play team-based shooter XDefiant. Like Hyperscape before. Hyperscape is actually an amazing game.
Yeah.
Amazing game. Very cool. Very awesome. The problem was they had terrible maps, and it became super repetitive. And my complaint, and I've talked about this before with you multiple times, it is if you cannot make a battle royale game let you express who you are as an individual, like if you can't feel like you are that character in a battle royale, then you do not care.
Mm.
That's what
So
I've personally noticed. That's what it is for me. Like like PUBG, I took it a little bit more serious because I feel I'm the Marine, like I'm out here.
no,
Or like Fortnite, you can have any skin in the world, and you can kind of play it that way, and it's better with
Peter
your friends
Griffin,
and stuff.
bro. Like,
Yeah, you can do stuff like that, and it's very exciting. Hyperscape, there's no real personality. There's no like human experience. Same thing with Splitgate, actually.
yeah.
Splitgate struggled for a little bit too,
But the
and I
mechanics,
think that's
Mike.
one of the reasons. The
The
mechanics were dope.
mechanics.
Yeah, it was very fun to play. So, like Hyperscape before, XDefiant had high expectations when Ubisoft touting more than 1 million players in its closed beta last year. Now it will disappear quickly and is no longer accepting new players as of today and is scheduled to shut off the servers entirely next June. Despite a delayed launch, Ubisoft said that XDefiant had reached more than 10 million players and outperformed expectations thanks to acquisitions and strong average revenue per session day. Sheesh. However, it couldn't maintain the momentum, and by this fall, rumors of trouble surfaced. With Insider Gaming reporting that concurrent player numbers across all platforms had fallen below 20,000. That's still really healthy for a lot of games.
Yeah,
But
actually, yeah.
when it's free to play and it's Ubisoft, that ain't good enough. Concurrent 20,000, and they're saying that's not good.
Yeah.
What are the standards?
What are the
Do
standards?
you know how ridiculous that is? Dude, I
there's a lot
bet
of
you
games
right
that survive
now.
off. It's still thriving to this day off like 5K, 3K.
Yeah. Apparently Halo Infinite's one of them.
There you go.
Steam charts, I think they get like less than 4,000 concurrent, like at its peak average. And
That game
then
shutting down? I don't think so.
yeah, that's on Steam. And then on the Xbox app, you can't prove how many players there are, but you can go to the Steam, not Steam, Xbox most played games and pinpoint them there. And you can do it region based too. I've never seen them in the last like year and a half. I don't think I've seen them in the top 15
It's
on
tough.
anything. They're getting beat out by like Farming Simulator and Power Washer Simulator.
Imagine people rather want to
Swear.
push around corn, dude, than play Halo. It's
100%. 100%. A
crazy.
few categories. Shout out Mexico. I've seen the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, okay.
So
She's going crazy.
yeah,
All right.
nuts. Anyways, so Ubisoft states the game will remain available to all players who joined XDefiant before December 3rd, 2024. All functionalities, including progression, events, rewards, and achievements, will continue to be available until June 3rd, 2025. The planned Season 3 content will still launch, and the company is refunding anyone who bought the Ultimate Founders Pack, as well as players who bought VC and DLC in the last month. Like with Concord developer Firewalk Studios, this shutdown comes with job losses. According to Ubisoft, difficult consequences, and that's quotes, are leading to, and in quotes, the closing of our San Francisco and Osaka production studios and to the ramp down of our Sydney production site, with 143 people departing in San Francisco and 134 people likely depart in Osaka and Sydney. So job layoffs definitely suck for sure. That's a lot of people to be laid off when I think it was really just the design directors and studio heads that were leading the vision for that game that should be responsible.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's so many people in the game turned out like that, Mike. Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And you know what the problem is, man? It's just like you can't be doing these games that are it just looks like COD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I want to play a game that looks like COD, I'm gonna go play COD.
True.
Especially because Call of Duty came out on Game Pass. A lot of people have Game Pass. I think the concurrent right now is like 15 million people have Game Pass. Dude, that's a lot of players that can just load it up at any time they want. And come on, what are we doing? Make something new and awesome and like entertaining, I guess.
Be creative, dude.
Was there even a story with XDefiant?
It's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I feel like maybe we would have had a chance if it had something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a shooter, man. I don't know, dude. It's a flooded market, dude. It's like Conquered. You're trying to do a hero shooter, like why? When I can just play
Yeah,
Overwatch.
when there's clearly like 2 or 3 other hero shooters that are amazing. There's this one game that came out, what was it called? It's the 3-lane, kinda like League of Legends kinda 3-lane, but it was a person shooter. A lot of people were playing that on Steam or on
Oh
Twitch.
yeah,
I think it was in beta though, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah, dude, why am I not thinking of the name?
I think that game's gonna be very successful.
Yeah,
I
it's by
really do.
Valve, dude.
Because it's a well, yeah, that's one reason. But I think it's gonna be very successful because it's just it's a good idea. You know what I mean? It's
Right. Yeah.
like it takes what you love about League of Legends or like Smite. It's kind of like Smite, right? Isn't that what Smite is like?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
More or
yeah,
less.
third person like League of Legends, but this is a shooter. And
Yeah.
then you have like little minions and stuff like that. That's like really cool. And I see all these people playing on mouse and keyboard. It
Deadlock.
looks skill based.
Deadlock.
Deadlock.
Yeah.
Deadlock. That's right. That game's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I'm fully confident that game's gonna be good. I could see that becoming a new like esport as well.
So you can rail
For sure.
rail grind almost, like
Yeah,
across the
dude.
map.
And you can go back and forth like and teleport. Like that's
Crazy movement.
really sick.
Crazy
Yeah,
movement.
like let me double check that. And I'm only using this as an example of something that's like it is taking elements from already existing mechanics and already established IPs and games and genres, but it's adding a twist. And when you do that in the right way, it can be beautiful, you know? And I think that matters a lot. It isn't, yeah, it's TBA.
Yeah,
So
dude.
we don't really know. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see, dude. Like I like Splitgate so much because it reminds me of Halo 4, but it's really cool because it changes the mechanics of the game when you have teleporters.
Yeah,
That's an interesting mechanic.
sure
It's
is.
very difficult to watch as a spectator because you might have never played that before and you don't know the maps well. Really, it's a skill-based thing. Like you have to understand the map to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas other arena shooters, you don't. You just kind of like the HUD really helps you.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, that's what's going on over here with XDefiant Ubisoft. The crisis of Ubisoft continues. They keep laying people off. Studios keep closing. IPs seem to be dying out. New IPs, especially. And they still refuse to bring back Splinter Cell. So go figure.
It's the biggest grievance of all of it, everything. Sorry, dude. Bring back Splinter Cell.
Dude, if they bring back Splinter Cell and they do Splinter Cell Chaos Theory multiplayer, where you can have like a handful of spies versus like SWAT team and stuff like this. This is like original Xbox, like PS2
Yep.
type era. If you can somehow do that, man, it will take over the internet. Swear.
Well, man.
Swear.
Listen, bring back
Dude, Splinter Cell mixed with like freaking Among Us, dude.
That'd be crazy.
It'd be sick.
Well, yeah, dude. I'll say this, Splinter Cell, dude. It's the only franchise from Ubisoft right now that I'm like 100% yes, I will play if something comes out. You
Really?
know? Like,
Damn.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is any good, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, Just Dance goes pretty hard.
It's true. It's true.
They
How
cut
much,
down the crew.
how much
For
of it-
Honor still exists. Dude, they got a lot of IPs, but I mean, it's hey, at least they had a win with Prince of Persia, right?
Yeah, Lost Crown.
That's
Then
yeah,
you know, just like stop supporting it pretty much. What the heck?
yeah, typical. Yeah, this is successful. Let's ruin it.
Yeah, let's soil it, dude.
Yeah.
You know he's not
At least they have
soiling it, dude.
trials. Oh yeah, who's not stolen it? Oh, somebody new.
Somebody
We get
new.
to talk about a little bit of little indie.
Codecks. I think we talked about this not too long ago.
Did yeah.
And it was
Same
kinda
guy
like-
too over
it's
there,
kinda
game
like, oh.
developer.
Yeah, and it was like, you know, a project management tool, an efficient one. Okay, make it so people in the industry can maybe come up with a nice little kind of template to work off of. Well, happy to report that Codecks nets 1 million euros in funding for game dev project management tool. With the new funding, Codecks aims to beef up staff and create new features to help game developers keep track of their workload. I have a little image in the article as well. It's game developer Justin Carter reporting this. Software developer Codecks has raised 1 million euros to expand and grow its titular project management tool for game developers. The majority of this funding comes from Creative Europe Media's media program, which provided a 700 million euro grant to the company. With it, the studio aims to hire more staff, grow current Codecks features, and create new ones while keeping the tool accessible to as many teams as possible, no matter their size and wallet. Codecks was founded in 2019 and uses a card and deck system to help developers manage projects, see metrics, and chart milestones. According to the developer, the tool is in use by companies such as Unity, 505 Games, and Devolver Digital. Unity using it? 505 Games? Okay. 505 Games out here? All right. 505. Pretty sure 505's, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Mafia dev. Can't remember.
Honestly, I didn't know that was actually... Those are a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I'm just pretty stunned
Devolver
by
Digital,
that.
dude, they got a lot of sick... You want to talk about like just weird indies? Or Devolver Digital forever has been the indie... It's just like... It's like these weird indie games that just work. And it's different. And I see the presentations and they're wacky and weird and fun. And they're awesome. Depending on the subscription tier, the tool's price ranges from free to 15 euros per month, and more features can be accessible based on the tier. Quote,
free.
It's very true. Quote, we're committed to helping game developers make games in a way that's both effective and enjoyable, said co-founder, and I already forget how to pronounce it. You know what? I'm going to like Google pronounce it for everybody for this. Riyad Jumalai. Say it again.
Jumalai.
Riyad Jamili. So see someone else at the time, maybe a little up with the enunciation. Riyad Jamili is said in a press release. This grant opens doors for us to significantly improve and expand Codecks, amplifying the tools we offer and creating new ones, making project management as fun and efficient as possible. With this grant, we're empowered to make that vision even bigger, features that make Codecks more valuable for every team member, whatever the project, wherever they are in the world. Continued fellow co-founder Daniel Burnt. See, much easier name. But thank you, Daniel. You know what I'm saying?
This is pretty sick, dude. I'm on the website right now, just clicking through, and it's like, if I'm a game dev, this is probably worth checking out.
Yeah. As outlined in Codecks 2's blog, companies aiming to deliver new features in 2025, including a revamped separate vision board that lets users see the overall development of their project. It likened the upcoming iteration to a skill tree, but for your game. Okay, it's kind of gamifying development. Okay.
Dude, it actually is. If you go on their website, you can go to this manual page, and it'll give you like these fundamentals for how to do like first steps of like start here if you're new to code kind of thing, and then it goes into the workflow of how to do assignments and checklists to keep the people on task. You can do organizing like flip cards to kind of track relations between cards of what to do. This is pretty fascinating stuff. It reminds me of I don't know if you ever used it, but it was like Microsoft Project Management or something like that, where you can do like a timetable bar to figure out how long a project take. It's really, really good in terms of like construction projects, because you got to know like, okay, well, what do? We got to do grading first. How long will grading take? But can we do anything else? Can we do like revisionary stuff in the design phase? And you can really optimize the timetable for construction. This looks similar to it, but it looks like you're saying it gamifies things. Very cool.
Yeah, kind of gives a visual stuff. I think for project management, a visual kind of representation in some form always helps. I think most people. So yeah, to see like there's an image in the article, kind of displaying the cards and stuff, kind of showing different ones. There's hero, like if you're developing heroes or dungeon levels for like a dungeon master kind of game or something like that, or a dungeon kind of game, you could divide it out amongst different kind of key stuff, whether that's enemy design or coding or UI. Like, it's kind of cool to see that.
You can add it and it integrates with Discord, bro. That's kind of cool.
Oh, okay. See, Codecks knows what's up, dude. Hey, they got some good Codecks. Yeah. Anyway, this website, you should probably check it out, dude, if you're a game dev.
100%, yeah. This is pretty sick. I like this.
Yeah, it's very cool. You know what else people should check out? Are they an Xbox boy? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, snap. All right, so this is referencing what I talked about earlier in the episode about a bit do. Do I have my control? I don't have my controller in here. I was gonna show it off. I have an 8-bit Do Xbox themed one. It's pretty sick. Yeah, you can actually kind of see it in the background, but whatever. This article is Andrew Lesuski.
Zuski.
I think.
Interesting. Let's
I
see.
think it's right.
Lishevsky's on this.
Lisevsky. Okay.
Lishevsky, okay.
I thought it was Polish. I didn't think it was Russian.
Lishevsky.
All right, so this article is coming from by Andrew. It is 8-bit Do added RGB backlights to the new Xbox version of its mechanical keyboard. The 8-bit Do Retro 87 mechanical keyboard Xbox Edition is available for pre-order now for $120 USD and is expected to ship in mid-January. Very cool. They have like some ergonomic stuff. Well, they of course are showing the old school imagery. As we scroll through the article, they're showing some the old like military green from the Xbox era.
Oh yeah.
OG Xbox. It's pretty cool. So let's go into it. So 8-bit Do has announced a new version of the keyboard with a design inspired by the transparent green edition of the Microsoft original Xbox console. The 8-bit Do Retro 87 mechanical keyboard Xbox Edition, that is a mouthful, holy moly, features a transparent green shell and matching keycap similar to the console. But unlike previous iterations of the keyboard, this is the first from 8-bit Do to incorporate RGB lighting. That's actually kind of true. I never really see them with RGB lighting. No, that's not entirely true. They light up some buttons on their controller gamepad. Fun fact, I bought one of their controllers because it has Hall effect joysticks. Just a little side note. So they do make some quality products. The Xbox Edition mechanical keyboard is now available for pre-order through Amazon for $119 with shipping expected to start on January 16th, 2025. 8-bit Do also announced the matching 8-bit Do Retro R8 mouse alongside the keyboard, which is also listed on Amazon but not pre-order yet. The keyboard features a 10 keyless layout with 87 keys that include a full function, a Windows key, and the addition of the Xbox button in the upper right corner that serves as a shortcut to the Windows game bar. That's actually kind of sick, to be honest. It pairs double-layered ABS keycaps featuring a matte UV coating, Kale, Jellyfish X switches, and the keyboard is compatible with 8-bit Do's Ultimate Software V2, allowing its mapping to be customized and macros to be created. So, all of that really just said they got 8 caps. They got caps that actually show the typical red, green, yellow, blue arrow keys. There aren't new number pad, so they got rid of that. And then everything they mentioned is basically up in the top left-hand corner, on off switch. Looks like volume switches, a couple of mini macros and stuff at the top. But let's continue going. As with its other mechanical keyboards, 8-bit Do, I keep messing this up. Do whatever. Includes a pair of large super buttons that can be programmed to trigger macros or other functions. That is actually sick. That would work for me because I don't have a Steam Deck. Yep. And I desperately like what I do. I do shortcuts on my keyboard to like go through scenes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
stuff in the background. But the stuff I actually use my number pad. So like 789 is for like an entire sequence if I'm streaming on my console. Like 456 is an entire sequence if I'm streaming my PC. Like PC games versus Xbox games. So having something like that where I can just be like, I need a kill switch, dude. Like mute, deafen, everything. So that'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool little addition there that interests me. So the RGB backlighting offers 8 different modes, including animated waves or colors or individual lighting. And 8-bit Do also says the keyboard's built-in 2000 milliamp. Thank you. Hour battery can keep it running for up to 200 hours, but doesn't specify if that's with the backlighting turned on. or if that's while connecting to a device over Bluetooth or using its included 2.4 gigahertz dongle. With a dead battery, the keyboard can still connect to the devices with a USB-C cable. Do you use wireless keyboards? I do use wireless mouse.
I've always used wired keyboards, but
Same.
I mean, there's like I've been thinking about maybe getting a wireless keyboard for like the living room or something like that if I want to hook up a laptop or something and like type from my couch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the only use case I can think of where I'd really want wireless. I mean, outside of that, don't really have a use case. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want wireless now.
Yeah,
I say that as everything I use is wired.
only thing wireless is my headset for my PC setup, really. So, but I love wireless headphones. It's like I'm so used to it after 5-6 years of just using wireless. So
it's pretty sick, isn't it? I mean, I got like a long cable right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude.
But I like it. I'm trying to hide it a little bit. I don't know if you caught on.
Yeah.
It doesn't help when I have white earbuds.
Try to be ultra discreet.
Yeah. Let's continue on. Let's talk about this mouse. So, the 8BitDo Retro R8 Mouse Xbox Edition has a similar transparent green shell as the keyboard, along with 4 programmable side buttons, 2 on each side, matching the colors of the action buttons on the original Xbox controllers. It uses a PAW 3395 optical sensor, with 6 selective sensitivity levels ranging from 50 dpi to 26,000 dpi. So you're basically covering everything. And what I understand about the optical sensors, that's a pretty good one. The 3395. I remember doing a lot of research in the day, and I remember that being good. The Retro R8 mouse's polling rate can also be adjusted using 8BitDo's Ultimate software from 125 hertz to 8,000 hertz, which is insanity. I actually have like an 8,000 hertz freaking Viper Razer mouse that's wild. The mouse's primary buttons use KyleHeath sorted GM X micro switches, which 8BitDo says have been engineered for up to 1 million clicks.
100 million clicks. 100 million.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Thank you for correcting me.
Crazy clicks, bro.
That's an absurd amount. Imagine testing that, watching basically the robot run until failure.
Yeah, it's insane.
The mouse is 450 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, can power the mouse for up to 100 hours when using a Bluetooth connection. But with a low latency 2.4 gigahertz connection, battery life ranges from 26, which is significantly less, to 105 hours depending. To streamline charging, the Retro R8 mouse includes a matching charging dock that also includes a signal extending feature. Interesting. That 8BitDo says ensures robust and uninterrupted connectivity. What do you think? Is this something that interests you?
The keyboard, yeah, I think it's pretty fascinating. It's like I would almost just want to get this just for like aesthetic purposes because it just looks so sick. It's like I'm tempted to just be like, oh, dude, that Xbox screen looks so good.
Oh, it does look sick.
Oh man,
I think you need both of them though. That's the problem for me.
yeah. I mean,
if you have one, not the other, it's not gonna matter.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I disagree because I think the mouse itself, like, I haven't used it, but like, I'm not a fan of ambidextrous mice. I've always had the ergonomic kind of like righty, hump my mouse, and I'm like trying to show my mouse. It's like, it's right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've always preferred this shape, so I'm just like, this mouse just doesn't seem like it'd be comfortable to me. Aesthetically, it looks sick. But it almost looks like the plastic looks like the plastic just looks. I don't know why, but it just almost looks kind of cheap and just.
I think that is. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think that's by design. And the reason why I say it's by design is if you look up the OG Xbox controller, it looked cheap.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to their website, and I'll link you right now so you can show the viewers. Shout out to everybody that's watching. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
If you're not listening, we'll try to do our best to kind of describe it. We're not really the best descriptors, but on their main website, when you start scrolling through, you can see close-up images. Obviously, they're going to be high res and quality lighting, everything, and maybe even a little rendered. the integral Xbox button gets pretty close to that plastic bit that you were talking about.
Yeah.
It looks kind of sick, to be honest. Um, I like it. I think it's cool. I like the text. The text is a very early, like computer programmer kind of stuff. That makes
Yeah.
sense. You know, when you pull up like command prompt, it's like that default text.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they're very intentional about what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
The
I mean, it's
colors,
cool.
I don't think are.
You could
Yeah,
rainbow
I
it.
think
I mean,
it's.
they don't pop as much as like a white or a black, right? But
Oh no, that's. I think that's going to be their issue
yeah.
because of the color green. It's an ugly green. I'm colorblind, but I'm going to call it like how I think it is.
Yeah.
I want it, but it will not match anything on my desk right now.
Oh
Literally
yeah. Not at
everything
all.
on my desk is black. Like
Yeah.
I have
Yeah. This
black
is the
speakers,
only
black.
this is the only white thing I have is
Literally,
my mouse. Everything else is black.
dude. Even my mouse pad, this gigantic mouse pad, is one that has like. Maybe you guys
Yeah.
can see it. It's pretty
Yeah.
difficult. It's the only thing that I think actually has
Any sort of
creativity.
color, yeah.
Yeah, and it's gray. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I thought if I could like because they like SteelSeries makes a white version of this headset, and I was like, yeah, it'd be kind of sick to have a white headset, but I don't know, I didn't want to wait.
Until it gets
I was just-
dirty.
yeah, exactly. Until it
Until
gets dirty, and then I didn't want to wait because it probably would have taken longer to get here, and I was just like, I just I just want a good headset. So, but yeah, dude, I have the white mouse. This is the only white peripheral I own. Is that everything else is black? So, yeah, it's nice to have that little bit of kind of dichotomy in the setup for me, but yeah. But yeah, it wouldn't match with anything. So if you're aesthetically like, yeah, dude, I want everything to match, this is definitely not gonna be the keyboard for you. But
no.
But I mean, yeah, it's
does
really
look.
it's really interesting. I mean, the double layered crystal arrow keys that actually looks kind of sick. The close up of that
Dude,
looks
that's
really
what I'm
sick.
saying. That's what I was. But I would just buy that if it would fit mine.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah.
Like, that just looks sick.
I also, dude, the switches they use, I will compliment them in the fact that I love the design of this, where it's like it's got the standard like cross switch, but then it's covered with a circle, so like it prevents the keycap stem from like breaking. Because that's an issue I have with my Corsair keyboard, especially on the control keys. Is like the stem was so weak, it just like chipped away over time, and the keycap broke, and it was like the worst thing ever. So
that's gross.
Yeah, it's very gross, but yeah, it looks sick. My only discrepancy, and I haven't looked close enough, if they actually, I don't think they have an option outside of the Jellyfish X switches that are like Kale, I think is how you pronounce it. They have, it looks like those are the only switches they offer, and I'm pretty sure those are clicky switches, and I'm a linear switch person through and through. So that's like an immediate turn off for me, because I'm just like, I want linear switches. So it's like that's enough for me where I'd probably be like, I don't think I would get this because I just don't like those kind of switches for gaming at least. But everyday productivity, I love those kind of switches. Like work and whatnot. Maybe we should just get this for work. Show of it. Go to my office I go to maybe once a week and just have this keyboard there.
This would actually hit, man.
Be a conversation piece for sure, but yeah.
So
that's what I could probably do. If I were to buy this, I'd literally just have it as like a work driver. That'd be it.
Honestly, yeah. One of the things that I find kind of interesting, it's like they have this thing. Hold on, what are they calling it on their website? I want to use the correct terminology. The dual super buttons.
Yeah, that is pretty sick. The macro buttons. That I was wondering what they were, and I was like, oh, they are macro buttons.
The macro buttons. Yeah, the macro buttons.
Sick,
like in a literal way.
Yeah, they're huge.
Macro,
you can't
large.
miss them. Can't miss them, dude.
Dude, they're quite literally like the easy button. That was easy.
Yeah. Oh man.
That would be. I think that'd be very valuable if they're using. I don't know, if you're a streamer and you need like animation, not animation, but you need to be an animated person. I could see that being perfect.
Dude, this,
you know what I mean? You could be like, I'm gonna stomp down, I'm tired, and then you hit something.
This is the Elgato foot pedal right here. Just have it at the feet and just click it on your foot. I'm telling you.
So you get two big buttons, and you can buy per like port, and there are 4 ports, so you can essentially have 8 macros.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean,
that's
interesting. 120. We're talking. It's not that expensive in the grand scheme of it, especially when you get the 2 macro buttons and the cool design. No, it looks high quality. Like, it's not bad.
In terms of keyboards, this is definitely affordable.
Yeah,
because you can get really up there with keyboards, especially mechanical keyboards. This is a viable option.
Yeah.
This is gonna be competing directly against Razer. I mean, 8-bit dudes do a really good job of just getting their price point in the ballpark of what it should be.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely look into this. I mean, like, I don't know, because I mentioned earlier, like, I wouldn't see myself gaming on this, but like, it'd be a serious consideration just to have like a sick office piece, right? if you're work somewhere and you use a keyboard every day, like, it's a sick option, dude.
Well, here's the thing, like, I'm kind of like dying out of my retro gaming stuff in terms of like playing Halo 2 OG stuff. However, if I wasn't like, if this came out a year ago, I probably because it would have been perfect. It would have been like I could get that. I can get my OG, like I can get a green Xbox controller, a green Xbox shell, and then everything could be decked out. It becomes now a theme or centerpiece for the stream and stuff. Like you can have so many different options. It can be very cool. I like this. I think it's a good idea. There are other options here. This is interesting. So I just went to Amazon. I'll link you this. It's actually on their website. And I know we're kind of spending some time talking a little bit about the peripherals. And I think it's worth it because you and I enjoy talking about peripherals just in general. So this is something comparable. I just sent you. It's on Amazon. And I wanted to bring it up because it is an 8-bit retro mechanical keyboard. It looks like Atari, essentially. They also come with these super buttons that can be macros. You see it on the stream there.
Okay.
And it looks like same situation, A, B, X, Y, 4 ports with the super buttons. They have this giant joystick, looks like, they can add in.
Sick.
They also have different... Dude, yeah, they have different... now, keep in mind, this doesn't have RGB.
Yeah.
They have different configurations. Okay. I like the Nintendo version. That Nintendo version's like...
Oh, yeah.
Dog, that's
pretty sick. Cooking. It's like the NES version.
Yeah, I like it. It has like a power button. It's very cool. I like that.
Yeah. It's cheaper too.
There's
obviously no RGB.
That's the key. So it is looks like all versions of them are about 10% off. Which means they're around $100. They're going for 90. So something to keep in mind. I just want to bring that up because if they're doing the Xbox version and they're doing transparent like the Xbox keyboards, like controllers, and like that was their style. If they could do a transparent, like smoke black, dude, I might buy that. Give me the number pad too, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you a number pad guy. See, I'm a 10 kilos guy, so that's where this
I do a lot of data entry, so I'd actually but
yeah, for sure. Dude, yeah.
Anyways.
I do. Hey, gotta look into that.
I'm big fans of them. I'm really glad rant about it.
Yep.
Get on. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah. But do you want to fill us in on Stalker 2? I thought this game was a total success, and apparently there were some bugs I didn't realize.
Yeah, especially on launch and whatnot. But hey, let's get into it. So Ian Walker over at Polygon. Stalker 2 dev has earnest answer for why game shipped with bugs. It's actually very easy to cut them some slack, he says. All right. Let's get into it. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, creative director. Oh, this is a name. Let's see what Google says. This is quite a name.
This is a name.
One more time. Grigorovic. Oh my goodness. Okay, Maria Grigorovic.
That's a sick name. Being honest.
Maria recently addressed the game's rough launch with a heartfelt appeal to its overall quality. It's not perfect. We need to fix everything. It has some problems, she told Eurogamer. But it's a game. It's a game with soul, with feelings there, with love there. Even the problems, you can't fix them if you don't have a game. Okay. Continue on. So the long-awaited Stalker 2 arrived on November 20th to both acclaim for its immersive gameplay and criticism over its many bugs. Despite this, the game sold over 1 million copies in just 2 days, which doesn't even factor in the scores of players who no doubt jumped into the zone with their Xbox Game Pass subscriptions. Ukrainian developer GSC Game World has also followed the Stalker 2 launch with 3 sizable updates focused on fixing some of the worst issues, removing some of the barriers to entry so many players can see the special foundation underneath.
Okay, that's
So
kind of
more
cool.
players can see the special foundation underneath.
How many made 3 sizable updates
3,
over
yeah.
the course of 3 months? Okay.
See, the article says it's interesting because the article says it arrived on November 20th. So I wonder if that date you were reading was like an original date and then it got delayed or something. I don't know.
Let me fact check because I
Yeah.
did say it was September 5th because that's what it says. Let's see. No, okay. Were there weird? Yeah, because when you Google it, and you say Soccer 2 release date, it says November 20th, 2024, which makes more sense because that's what the article's referencing, and I don't think Polygon's gonna lie, right? Right?
Right.
But if you type in Stalker 2 base, right, and you know how you get those like mini Google summaries, like it's Wikipedia on the
Oh,
side.
yeah.
It's like initial release date September 5th. So I feel better because I thought it came out recently, but then when I looked it up, it was like 2 months. So to have 3 updates in the span of like 2 weeks,
Yeah, that's pretty
okay.
cool. Pretty crazy.
Thank goodness they launched it, realized that bugs and fixed it, didn't leave it dead.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Oh man, Grigorovich, another Grigorovich, GSC Game World CEO Evgen Grigorovich told Eurogamer in the same interview that he and his team decided to do as much as they could before last month's release, and then work to fix what was left post-launch, comparing another delay to running a foot race on zero energy. Saying, quote, "It's hard to explain your state when you're in a very intensive work process for many months until release, and you're working over what you usually can do, and highest possible stress and overwhelming period," he said. "You have no energy at all, and you decide, should we take one more marathon? And you just can't say yes. Let's make one more marathon because you're already broken." I mean, yeah, okay. Kind of fair, you've been sprinting for a while. You're just like, can we get this game out, man? But it's not quite done. Should we keep going? Another marathon?
Hooray!
Another more late nights? I don't know. If it feels like folks are giving Stalker 2 grace, not typically reserved for bad launches, it's probably because of the environment in which it was developed. Ukraine, the country GSC Game World called home before having to relocate, is still locked in a brutal conflict with Russia, which invaded the small nation in February of 2022. Many employees left Ukraine to continue developing Stalker 2 elsewhere, while others stayed behind to work on the game through the constant blare of air raid sirens, or in some cases, to take up arms to fight for their country.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of those people are fighting right now and not worried about a video game, to be honest.
Yep, can't blame them. Then, when Stalker 2 finally launched, the sheer amount of simultaneous downloads choked a Ukrainian broadband infrastructure. Oh gosh, Google help me. Beleaguered. Let's see. Aha, smart man over here nailed it. Beleaguered by warfare. The developers just couldn't win, but they're finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It touched everyone in the country, but after releasing this, it slightly justified that, yes, we left our country and decided not to stay there, but we still made something that could help Ukraine in some way. Ivan said, "We are artists, we are creative people, but it was our way to bring value to our country." Okay, very, very noble. I like that. I can appreciate it.
Now I gotta go download Stalker 2, man. I'm already opening up the Xbox. Man just said, "We just want you guys to love Ukraine, bro."
For the country,
we're still Ukraine. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, a story, and
yeah, I do give him some grace too, because it's like you're developing a game.
No kidding.
You just want to get it done, and then you have a whole war going on. It's crazy. I can't blame him.
Dang. I want to see the ratings here. Let's see reviews. 3.1, man. Oh, that's annoying.
What's a Metacritic score?
Okay, so it's literally
performance related.
It is, yeah. It's performance related.
It's not a bad game. It just doesn't run well sometimes,
Yeah, there's a lot like the I don't speak Russian or Ukrainian, but there are some. This is on the Xbox app. They're basically saying this is the last like 2 or 3 days. People are saying it's not working. It's currently not playable. It keeps crashing. It barely runs, like all this kind of stuff. Yeah, bad performance. That's a shame because you see that sometimes, and then you see other ones where it's just like I was able to back end optimize the game and it's really good, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's got to be a good story too because it just looks sick. But
I mean, the previous stuff looked great. So
yeah,
they really got something there. I think.
tough.
But, yeah, just rather unfortunate. Hey, they're pushing out updates. Try to make it better.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: how long to beat? New thing that they added to Xbox Game Passes that I've noticed, like their own like new brand. Main story's 30 hours, plus the extras add 14 hours, and if you are a completionist, it will take 63 hours. And anything longer to me, because I'm not like a single player person, like anything longer than like 24 hours is a long game to me. Now I know you're used to games that are like, oh yeah, we need 100.
Give me
Because you do
100. Give me triple digits,
yeah.
baby.
I need 400.
I need 600
But yeah, I
hours.
mean, I don't know. How do you feel? You're gonna give him grace?
I mean, yeah, I give him grace. I mean, I think eventually I will check out Stalker 2. I mean, with the stuff I'm playing right now, I won't have time, but I think at some point, it's definitely like on the backlog. I think to check out, and you know, with some more patches too, if it gets more stabilized, the better the experience. So yeah, I feel like I would benefit to just wait. But yeah, I mean, I give him grace, man. You know, gotta fight for your life, dude. And I'm really
in a literal fashion, yeah. And they like got up or left, dude. Yeah, I don't want to get political or get into it, but it's not good. War is always bad and always hard. Nobody wins.
Nobody wins, dude. When there's war,
dark.
Nobody wins.
Honestly,
remember that.
Not even a catchfage. It's just
facts,
on jaw rule,
dude.
bro.
Just facts.
It's just on jaw rule, dude.
Facts, dude. Pure facts.
Ah, man. All right, so I guess that's kind of it for our main.
Yep. Dude, your mic was just cutting out right there. What's going
on? Oh
Mike?
yeah, I know, dude. It's probably because my computer's trash now. It's unfortunate.
Tough.
But dude, I've been over here playing like COD without my RTX voice on, and people are yelling at me that I've been playing comp with. They can hear my keyboard, and then I found out I can change the noise gain in Discord, so it's gone a little bit.
No, nice.
Yeah, it's been funny though. It's been pretty funny.
That's content. It sounds like.
That's how I feel. Hey, how about we talk about what's going to be releasing this month? Handful of games that's worth just mentioning. We're gonna do some like kind of like a power hour kind of power through because dude, we've been getting long with the rants.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
Yeah.
But hey, let's talk about it. So Anton Blast is releasing December 3rd. That's gonna be on PC and Switch. There are 6 games coming out December 5th. So by the time you hear this episode, all the games we're going to mention right now are all out. Delta Force is one of them. UFL is another. Path of Exile 2 is coming out. Sky Dance Behemoth. And, we got 2 more here. Stranger Things VR, which I didn't even know Stranger Things had a VR coming out. That's kind of interesting. I never watched the show, but I think you did, right?
Oh, no. I never watched that show.
Oh, no. Somebody we know definitely did. Maybe it was Nick.
Yeah, I don't
possibly. Stranger Things VR and Fantasian Neo Dimension is all coming out. These are games on like pretty much every platform. Not so much the Switch. I think only Fantasian either PC. No, they're all PC. A few on PlayStation, mostly actually on PlayStation 1 or 2 on Xbox there. Then you got a game that has a lot of hype around it. December 6th is Marvel Rivals. That's PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Then finishing out is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Highly anticipated game. December 9th. That's PC, Xbox Series X and S. I'm pretty sure the PlayStation kids are going to be furious.
Yeah, it's coming out it's coming out later, you know what I'm saying? At least they announced that. Dude, the PC specs. PC specs, they dropped like the full spec list. The ray tracing specs they offer like what it would take for run like ultra ray tracing stuff like that. It's like 4090 Ti, like it's like the whole thing. It's ridiculous if you want to run like full ultra ray tracing. It's insane.
Does that mean the game's not going to be optimized?
I think for like I think the recommended for like, you know, high settings or something like that was like a 3080 or 3080 Ti or something like that.
Yeah, man.
And then like minimum was like 2060 or something like that. So
your boy needs one.
I'm just saying this, and I'm like, you're just like, yep, not me. You're outdated, Mike. Right. What can I say?
Yeah. Okay. Finishing it out, there are 4 more games worth mentioning. Just like quick little mentions, not as heavy hitter as Indiana Jones. Some of them you might not have heard of, but just remind people, you got Power Rangers Rita's Wind, so a Power Ranger game if you ever watched that growing up. That's coming out December 10th. There's also Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered, so a little bit of a throwback, December 10th as well. Then you're going to have The Spirit of the Samurai, which I vaguely remember, don't know too much about. That's on PC, December 12th, 2024. And then the last one is Alien Rogue Incursion, December 19th, so right around the holidays. And that one can be kind of cool. That's on PC and PS5. To be honest, there's a lot of games on this list that are all on PlayStation, except for like Delta Force, but that was never really intended to be anything but a PC game. And I guess Spirit of Samurai, and of course Indiana Jones. But like we said, that's going to come out later. So those are the main games that I wanted to mention just for this month. It's not the biggest, heaviest hitting list, but that's mostly because we got the Game Awards coming up. December's the end of year. Everybody's on holiday and nobody really cares. You're not gonna release like a free to play game, you know? That's just needs all the service in the world when your entire IT department, QA QC, is out the building.
Yeah, that's probably the smart.
Yeah. Yes, sir. But that's all I got for you, man.
Doesn't mean dollar because I got all the games coming out this month. Indiana Jones, I'll be playing that ish. It's going on my Game Pass. Let's go, baby.
Let's get it. I know. I need a freaking the RTX stuff that you just talked about with the GPUs. That's got me really interested. I need one.
Hey man,
need an RTX.
Wait, what's that 50 series announced, bro? You get a nice little last gen, you know.
That's honestly my plan. I think I'm gonna do a RTX 4080, and then when I start getting bottleneck issues, I'm gonna buy the highest CPU possible for my motherboard.
Yeah, it's.
You're pulling up the performance specs.
I'm just seeing. You know what? We don't even have to link it. I'll just show it to people, you know, real quick.
Yeah.
So
read out for the people that are on audio too.
Indiana Jones at the Great Circle, PC requirements. So a minimum, so across the board, just across the board, it's 64-bit Windows 10, no matter what you're using. It's just across the board. So it gets interesting. So the minimum, and this is, I don't know what RAM? This is running at. Okay, so it says, additional notes. It says kind of what it targets. SSD is required for all of it. I mean, everyone has an SSD by now, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. But yeah, you should have one by now at least.
The target 60 FPS at 1080p here.
Yeah. So
with
this is
low preset.
So this is 1080p 60 FPS target, low preset. They recommend an i7 10700K or a Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 2060 Super 8 gig or a Radeon RX 6600 8 gig or an Intel Arc A580. So they have Intel in there as well. But you'll notice Intel drops off very quickly as you get to recommended. There's not even an Intel recommended. So 1440p 60 FPS target on a high preset. They recommend 32 gigs of RAM. That's it. So they're literally the second tier up. They're already recommending 32. And then it's a 3080 Ti 12 gig or a RX 7700 XT 12 gig. And then you get to ultra settings, which is a 4K 60 FPS target. It'll be 32 gigs. They recommend a 4080 16 gig or a RX 7900 XT 20 gig. And then the CPU is a i7 13900K for Intel, 7900X for Ryzen. And then they also offer a completely different full ray tracing requirements if you're trying to ray trace the game. This is a 1080p 60 FPS target. On a full ray trace, they recommend a 4070 12 gig.
Jeez.
No AMD mentioned there, which is interesting, but it's an i7. Again, with the minimum, they recommend at least an i7 10700K as your CPU. And then you get into the recommended 1440p 60 FPS ray tracing target. It's a 4080, 16 gig. And then the highest ultra at a 4K 60 FPS target, they recommend a 24 gig 4090 as your card to use. So,
dude.
Yeah, dude, if you want a 4K 60 FPS ray tracing, you pretty much need the best of the best right now. So, they're recommending for Indiana Jones, but pretty wild stuff, man.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a game. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Curious to see how it plays and runs. I mean, I'm definitely, like I said, it's Game Pass. I'm gonna be checking it out, of course. But yeah, it'll be probably a couple weeks until I actually get around to it realistically. But I'm gonna be checking it out hopefully before end of year. So
honestly, the good thing is it is a single player game, so you don't really need the FPS as much as you think you might.
I mean, that's
30
that's
FPS is kind of weird, but playing 60 FPS on like a story driven content game, I could do that.
Yeah,
all day I could do that.
Very true. No, you just realized, Mike, dude. It's like we're almost at end of year, dude. We're almost at podcast break period. It's kind of crazy.
I'm kind of excited, man, because
yeah.
I just want to lay back and chill.
Yep. We're almost at the break period. Probably one more week and then break time. I don't
know. Yeah, I think what we did last. Yeah, we did the Game Awards.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if we did the Game Awards and our update and our weekly update.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember either. But
we're gonna have to go back and double check it.
Yeah. Yeah. Next week will be kind of weird for me since I don't know if I'd be able to cover Game Awards that week. So I got some. Yeah. I got a work Christmas party thing going on that weekend, so I will be out of town. So
that's fair enough.
So
hey, if I got to do it solo again, not like the Game Awards, I'm not gonna do that. But I'll do like a solo period. Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
That's up to you, dude. I'm not a solo guy, but hey, if you want to do a solo, dude, it's on you.
I don't mind it. Just a vibe.
Okay, all right. Old school podcast vibes. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, have a good time.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, well, obviously we can cover Game Awards probably the week following if you wanted to, and then that'd be the cap off the season. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, true. All right, dog. We'll talk about that like off the line, basically. But I think this week was pretty informative. We got to cover a good handful of stuff. Got to rant a little bit, and I'm just looking forward to next week's episode too. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I guess the usual closeout that we always do. If you made it this far, we definitely appreciate it. Thank you. It's been a long one. The last like 3 have been pretty long. But we just want to remind you, we have links in the description below. Go check out the articles yourself that we covered. Hoped you liked our hot takes. We also have timestamps. So if you want to catch some of our episodes, but you don't want to listen, you don't have 3 hours or whatever, just like jump to whatever section you think you're interested in, and then tell us your take, basically. We have social media links below, Discord, everything that you could possibly need. We're on every single platform. We got audio format, we got video format. That's pretty much all I got left to say, right? So, Kyle, you got anything to add, man? Or we let him go?
Nah, dude. I think we're good, dude. Just keep gaming. Enjoy the holiday season. Yeah. You know?
Seriously, yeah. Hopefully everybody got fat. Right? We didn't even mention that. Like,
everyone got fat. Everyone, calories didn't count, baby. Let's go.
Happy Turkey Day, bro. Yes, sir. Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to go eat. So I'm going to let everybody go. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been the M2 host, Michael Anthony. KyleHeath is your co-host, and we'll see you guys next week. So take it easy.
All right, bro.
Peace out.
Keep gaming.
Adios. Peace.